Yo warriors, welcome back to Mind Alchemy. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, bro. There exists a kind of discipline that doesn't inspire admiration, it inspires fear. The kind of order that makes men tremble because it reminds them how fragile their will really is. Today, you'll learn how to reach that level. The kind where you stop trying and start ruling over yourself. You've seen that kind of person before. The one who never fails. The one whose alarm rings at the same time every day. Whose movements are precise, repetitive, relentless. While others crumble in the third week, they advance. While others invent excuses, they execute. And when people talk about them, they whisper, "That's not normal." They're right. Centuries ago, Zen monks in Japan designed a system that forged this exact kind of terrifying consistency. They called it Guji, the practice that sustains itself. It doesn't depend on motivation, emotion, or willpower. It feeds on itself like a closed loop of power. Once you grasp it, you'll never break your word again. But there's a price. To wield this discipline, you must kill a part of yourself. The weak, indecisive version who negotiates every morning with comfort. Every empire begins with a rebellion, not against others, but against the self. Before you rise above mediocrity, you must first confront the quiet tyrant inside you, your own weakness. Raphael's story begins there. In the war between his intentions and his execution, he was the kind of man society applauds. Intelligent, ambitious, well-spoken, successful enough to appear in control. Yet beneath the surface, he was a slave to inconsistency. He woke up every Monday filled with purpose, planning his week like a conqueror, mapping territory. By Wednesday, the first negotiation began. "I've worked hard. I deserve rest." By Friday, the empire had fallen. And by Sunday, he was writing another manifesto for the man he wished he could be. The pattern never changed. 2 weeks of momentum, 2 months of illusion, and then collapse. He told himself stories. Maybe I just need more motivation. Maybe I need accountability. But motivation is a flame. It burns fast and dies faster. Accountability partners are weak allies when your greatest enemy lives in your own head. He tried apps, journals, habit trackers, digital chains for a mind that refused command. He rewarded himself for trivial progress, celebrated mediocrity, and wondered why his greatness never came. He couldn't see it then, but the problem was not the task. It was the architecture of his mind, a system built for comfort, not conquest. Every morning, the same pattern. His higher self made promises at night, and his weaker self broke them at dawn. This cycle was not laziness. It was a failure of identity, because you cannot command what you still pity. And Raphael pitied himself for being tired, for being stressed, for being human. But power doesn't emerge from pity. It emerges from contempt. Contempt for the part of you that hesitates when you should strike. The turning point came the day he asked a new question, not, "How do I stay disciplined?" but, "Why do monks never break their rituals? How can men wake at the same hour in the same silence for decades, without fail, without boredom, without rebellion?" He expected the answer to be spiritual, something about peace, enlightenment, serenity. But the truth was much colder. Zen monks are not peaceful men. They are men who have killed the part of themselves that resists obedience. They have silenced negotiation by removing choice. Their power lies not in motivation, but in design, a mental architecture forged through centuries of repetition. When Raphael discovered this, something shifted. He realized discipline wasn't about doing more. It was about becoming less emotional, less reactive, less negotiable. He understood that his inconsistency wasn't weakness, it was democracy. Too many voices inside his head voting for comfort. To change, he needed a dictatorship, rule by one voice only, his command. That night, he stopped setting goals. He drafted laws, not dreams, not hopes, laws. A king doesn't negotiate with his subjects. He decrees. From that moment, Raphael stopped asking, "Can I?" He declared, "I will." And in that declaration, a new self was born. One capable of seeing comfort as an enemy and obedience as freedom. He hadn't mastered discipline yet, but he'd done something far more important. He had awakened, because the first step toward mastery is not progress. It's the death of delusion. Only when you stop lying to yourself about who you are can you begin to build who you must become. Raphael's war had begun, not with noise, but with silence. The silence that comes when you stop negotiating with weakness and start commanding it. That is the awakening. The moment you realize you are not tired, not busy, not unlucky. You are simply undisciplined. And until that truth burns through your pride like acid, you will never change. In the cold silence of dawn, when the world still sleeps beneath the weight of its own indiscipline, a few rise not to chase pleasure, but to conquer themselves. The monks understood a truth that most men run from. He who does not master his own mind will forever be a slave to it. Their secret was not divine, it was strategic. They detached not because they were holy, but because they were dangerous. By refusing to be seduced by comfort, they made pain their ally and silence their fortress. Every morning they stripped away weakness, layer by layer, until desire itself bowed before them. Understand this, discipline is not peace, it is war. A war fought within the mind, between the part that wants control and the part that seeks ease. The monks knew the mind must be conditioned like a weapon, sharpened through repetition, polished through suffering, and sheathed only in moments of calm. While the masses prayed for motivation, they practiced mastery. While others sought happiness, they pursued power over self. To them, each sunrise was a new battlefield, and each thought a soldier to command. You admire their serenity because you mistake it for gentleness. It is not gentleness, it is dominance hidden beneath stillness, a calm so absolute that nothing external can provoke it. Every empire begins not with armies, but with order, and the first territory a man must conquer is not land, it is his routine. The monks called it ritual. Machiavelli would call it governance, for what is a ritual if not the daily legislation of the self? Weak men wake and wait for desire to move them. Strong men move first, then desire follows. The monks knew that chaos breeds submission, so they structured every hour with precision, every act with intent. They did not rise early because the sun commanded it. They rose early because they refused to live under the tyranny of impulse. Their rituals were not for worship, but for warfare. Each repetition was a declaration, "My body obeys my mind." In silence, they trained the nervous system to endure discomfort. In stillness, they rewired emotion to serve purpose. Every breath, every movement was a negotiation with power. Understand this, freedom without order is decay. A man who cannot control his habits will soon be ruled by them. The monks mastered the smallest disciplines, how to sit, how to breathe, how to think, because they knew that a single moment of unconsciousness could rot an entire empire. When the average man hits resistance, he retreats. The disciplined one leans in, knowing that control is not comfort. It is the art of holding steady when the weak tremble. The monks did not pray for strength, they ritualized it. Their peace was not a blessing from heaven, it was the byproduct of consistent command. If you wish to dominate your world, first dominate your mornings. Control 1 hour completely, and the rest of the day will kneel before it. Pain is the tax every conqueror must pay for greatness. The weak curse it, the wise convert it. The monks knew this secret well. Pain was never their enemy, it was their silent architect. They understood that to rule the mind, one must first befriend suffering, for comfort breeds obedience and pain breeds control. The ordinary man flees from discomfort as if it were death itself. But what he truly avoids is transformation. The monks, in contrast, invited pain like an old companion. They welcomed hunger, silence, and solitude, for they knew that every sting of discomfort carved a deeper chamber for strength within the soul. You see, pain refines. It strips illusion, it exposes weakness, and it purifies desire. To endure pain without complaint is not martyrdom, it is mastery. The one who suffers willingly becomes untouchable, for no threat can move a man who has already conquered fear through pain. The monks sat in the cold for hours, not out of ritual but rebellion. Every shiver was a reminder, I am stronger than this moment. They were not numbing themselves, they were disciplining the nervous system, training it to remain calm in storms that would shatter others. Understand this, he who avoids pain invites dependency. The world will always control the man who cannot endure, but he who can stand still in the fire without breaking becomes something else entirely, a weapon forged in silence, wielded by purpose. So do not wish for an easier life. Wish for the strength to command a hard one. Every ache, every rejection, every loss, treat them as tools, not tragedies. The monks did not rise above suffering, they rose through it. Power does not come from chance, it is cultivated through precision. The monks were not chasing enlightenment, they were constructing it, brick by brick, through the relentless discipline of the will. They understood that true power is not seized, it is earned in solitude, refined by repetition, and guarded by silence. Discipline to them was not punishment, it was privilege. It was the sacred act of bending chaos into order. The masses confuse freedom with indulgence, believing that doing whatever they want makes them strong. But the monks knew better. Freedom without discipline is slavery in disguise. Each day, they imposed rules upon themselves, not because they loved rules, but because they despised weakness. Their discipline was their weapon, their boundary, their identity. They did not wait for clarity or motivation. They moved with mechanical precision, knowing that consistency is the truest form of genius. Machiavelli would have admired them, for they mastered what kings often forget. Control must begin within. You cannot command others if your impulses command you. The monks governed themselves like empires, every thought inspected, every emotion taxed, every action accounted for. Nothing was random, everything was strategy. The undisciplined man seeks comfort and loses control. The disciplined one sacrifices comfort and gains command. Discipline does not make life easier, it makes you unshakable. It is the armor you wear against distraction, temptation, and decay. To live without discipline is to live as prey, always reacting, never ruling. But to live with it is to step beyond reaction into deliberate power. The monks did not speak of strength. They embodied it. They did not chase purpose. They enforced it. Remember this, power is not taken, it is maintained. And maintenance requires discipline so sharp it cuts through every excuse. The monks built that blade daily until their habits became their hierarchy and their will became law. The monks understood what most rulers never will. The ultimate form of control is detachment. Not indifference, but dominion over desire. For as long as something can tempt or disturb you, it owns a part of you. The one who cannot detach will always be ruled by people, by pleasure, by fear. To detach is to declare sovereignty over the self. It is not the rejection of the world, it is mastery over its influence. The monks walked among gold, yet craved nothing. They spoke with kings, yet bowed to none. Their silence was not weakness, it was superiority. They did not need validation, for validation is the leash of the powerless. Machiavelli would call this the strategy of distance. Never cling to anything so tightly that it can be used against you. Detachment keeps your judgment pure, your moves deliberate, your emotions hidden behind a calm mask. The monks perfected this, a stillness that confuses enemies and disarms chaos. The masses drown in emotion, mistaking attachment for loyalty, obsession for love, comfort for peace. The monks saw through the illusion. To love without clinging, to act without craving reward, to lose without falling apart. This was their art. They understood that he who owns nothing cannot be robbed, and he who expects nothing cannot be disappointed. Detachment is the invisible crown. It cannot be seen, but it commands respect. It frees the mind from reaction and replaces it with precision. The detached man becomes unpredictable, not because he hides his thoughts, but because he is not ruled by them. To practice detachment is to rise above need. And when you no longer need, you begin to truly choose. That is real power. Cold, unyielding, absolute. The monks were not escaping life. They were elevating above it. They had learned the rarest art of all, to possess everything by depending on nothing. The monks spoke rarely, and when they did, their words cut through noise like a blade through silk. They knew that speech is currency, and the foolish spend it cheaply. In silence, they discovered the true architecture of power, control of expression. The average man talks to be understood. The powerful man talks to control understanding. Words to the monks were not tools of emotion. They were weapons of precision. Every phrase was calculated, every pause deliberate. Their silence unsettled men who sought validation in noise. That was the point. Silence is not absence, it is dominance without declaration. Machiavelli would have admired such restraint. He knew that mystery is influence, that a man who reveals nothing forces others to reveal themselves. The monks lived by that law. They did not argue, they observed. They did not react, they read the room. In quiet, they gathered information that the loud squandered in vanity. Understand this, the loud seek power, the silent already have it. The one who can hold his tongue commands both his mind and his image. Each word withheld is energy conserved, leverage stored. The monks understood that attention is the most valuable resource in any kingdom, and silence, paradoxically, attracts it. Their calm presence was unnerving. People projected wisdom into their quiet, not realizing it was simply control. Control over emotion, over timing, over reaction. The monks understood that silence is not passivity. It is patience weaponized. It draws truth from others while revealing nothing in return. A true strategist speaks less because he listens to what is not being said. He sees the cracks in tone, the fear in hesitation, the weakness in words meant to sound strong. Silence amplifies perception. It turns the mind into a mirror where others expose themselves. The monks became kings of inner dominion because they refused to fill the void with words. In the end, it was their restraint, not their rhetoric, that made them untouchable. Remember this, speak rarely, move wisely, and let silence do your conquering. For in a world that cannot stop talking, the quiet man becomes the most feared voice of all. In the end, my friend, the battle was never against the world. It was always against yourself. The monks knew this. Machiavelli knew this. And if you've listened this far, some part of you knows it too. Power, peace, discipline, detachment. These are not trophies to be won. They are states to be earned. Every morning you rise, the war begins anew. A war between the man you are and the man you could become. And every choice, every silence, every moment of restraint is a sword swung in that invisible war. You were never meant to live soft. You were meant to live sharp, to carry stillness like armor, to walk through chaos unbent. The world will try to tempt you into noise, into comfort, into weakness. But the true sovereign lives above it, answering to no master but his own discipline. Remember this, the greatest empire you'll ever rule is the one inside your mind. Guard it like a fortress, command it like a kingdom, because once you control your thoughts, no one, not fate, not fear, not failure, can control you. So rise again tomorrow, not as a seeker of peace, but as a commander of will. Build your rituals. Embrace your pain. Stay silent when the world screams. Detach when it tries to pull you down. And when they ask how you became untouchable, simply smile and let them wonder. For the secret was never power. The secret was always you.